Hello, everyone. This is James Pelton. I am here with Robert Doyle, crypto sensei, if you will, good friend of the channel. Brian Ma from Finnovant will be joining us here shortly. There he is. Brian, how you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going there?
Good, doing very, very well. I was telling Robert just before we got on, this is the first day in 8 days that I've not had a fever. So I'm feeling good, feeling the energy. So excited to talk through one of my favorite projects here today with Brian, kind of get an update on what's new. And it's nice we have Rob here. He can kind of give us his bigger market insights as well, and how BioFi fits into that, how Constellation fits into that. So excited to talk through that. What we need before we start, audience, need you guys to hit the like button. Appreciate that very much. It's free. We're not asking for much. It's just you take your mouse and you just go right below the video. There should be a like button. Just click that. Appreciate that very much.
It looks like this.
It looks like this. Yeah, the hand going this. And let us know, do you have any travel plans for Christmas and the New Year? That's going to be my question. I like to get to know my audience a little bit. So, Rob and Brian, good to see you guys. I think we can probably skip the introductions. If you don't know who these two are, go pick any random video in my past, and they're probably in there somewhere. I've had these guys on the channel quite a bit, but maybe we could start. I'm going to put Brian up at the top. No offense, Rob, but
I'm taken. He's the man.
He's the man today. Brian, maybe you could start with kind of talking about what's new, what's up and coming. What are you excited about? Let me just get a feel from you about how things are going right now.
Yeah, no problem. And just to let you know, Chris Benedict is on his way here. He'll be here in another minute or two. And you know how we like to start these off. I just wanted to say thanks to you, and this is in our tradition, right? Thanks to you and thanks to the community. Both of you guys are just amazing. You have incredible communities and you're helping a lot of people, and there's so much going on. You know, we've had a couple of crazy things happen in the crypto space recently with SBF, right? In the Bahamas. And I mean, just some crazy stuff going on. And through all of this, everybody is just focused, you know, got the nose to the grindstone. Everybody's working hard, delivering the most amazing utility for the ecosystem. And I would just like to thank the team as well for all that incredible focus, to even during the holiday season. You know, we're coming up on a wonderful time of year here in North America. You know, we have the Christmas holiday, and then we get into New Year's, and it's just a fantastic time of year. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank the communities and everybody who is such a incredible part of this journey. And watching today, we have some just incredible community people that have done a fantastic job helping in so many ways. But as we take a look back on this year and take a look into next year, there's some incredible utility that we're going to talk about today that's just being released today and tomorrow, this week. And to help round out the year, and then going into next year, I would ask that we could do the same thing and come back and talk about some huge announcements going into next year that are just going to be fantastic. So with all that being said, there's a lot here to talk about today. You guys do a fantastic job. And I think, is that you, Chris? You joined down there. I see Chris.
Yeah, that's me. I'm here.
I see Chris.
How you doing, brother?
Hey, guys.
So I'll just turn it over to Chris just for a few minutes to say hi.
Hi, everybody. New PC today, so sorry that I got on a little bit late. I didn't get all my programs loaded. You know, it's so much fun to have a new piece of technology, but then you miss everything on the old one. So that's why I'm just a moment late. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It has been a spectacular year. BioFi and Finnovant, we have come such a long way. I'm sorry that I missed any other opening comments, but I don't want to be repetitive. But not only has it been great from a team and a company perspective, but you know, getting to know James and Robert better throughout the year has been great. So I'm not just playing to your egos, guys. You've been a great part of the community, and you've been great at holding us to task and making sure we deliver on the things that we talk about. So thank you both.
I
appreciate the community for joining us.
Yeah, just to interrupt on that, James. I do want to highlight that, and we'll probably talk. I mean, it's really up to you, but I really want to talk about the two things that we're going to release today. Today and tomorrow, have had these incredible smart contract audits, and there's a lot of work, months of work, like tons of man hours have gone into these smart contracts. A lot of brand new Solidity code, just incredible logic built into that. And I just want to thank Robert here, with DeFi Sentry. They did the audits and the certification on both of these contracts, and we're just so happy that we're able to release those today. And we'll talk about that as we go through. Maybe we talk about that first. It's a fantastic company.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we have a whole bunch of things to talk about. So also, Brian and Chris, you guys are just the kings of thanking people. I always forget to do that, but you guys are so good, and you're welcome to flatter and compliment as much as you want. We'll accept all of it. And yeah, hello to everybody in the audience. We got a lot more people hopping on, so please do hit the like button. If you have comments or questions or things you want us to discuss as we're going, please do ask. We've got Dagonaut is here, so Mike, good to see you. We got Drone Industry Systems, another friend of the channel, on today, and I owe Disc a new AMA. Mike's dog got sick for the last one, and so we weren't able to do it. So I owe you guys an AMA after the new year here as well. So welcome all of you guys. So, well, where do you guys kind of want to start? I know there's so many things that we could talk about. I have things that I would like to talk about too, and I know Robert does. But maybe we'll let you guys kind of direct, so we at least get the important things out of the way. And if there's leftover time, we can get into that. But what would you guys like to start with?
Sure. I would like to start with Robert's company, because it is a pivotal, important aspect of the community, and something that we really will use many times. We've already gone through 2 incredible smart contract audits, and it's really helping the community so much. So maybe Robert, if you want to talk about that for a minute, we really appreciate DeFi Sentry.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's an honor and a privilege to actually work with you and your team. We've actually done 2 audits for the BioFi team here, one on the staking contract and one on the racing contract. And man, we did the staking contract in like 4 days. We had the complete audit done, and there was a couple revisions that we needed to make. We got everything done and everything approved, and everything looks great. So very thankful to be working with their team. And I've been talking to Disc and several other projects in the DAG kind of ecosystem, the BioFi ecosystem, and we'll be looking forward to doing their contract audits as well. And just a privilege to be working with you guys side by side on this amazing project that you guys are building, and just thankful to be along for the ride here. Thank you.
That's awesome. And the way we start that off, James, is we set up a Discord channel, and then we start sharing, the private links to the source code, and then there's a review cycle that goes on. Some really incredible technicians come in, they take a look at the code. They go through everything, and then they start to highlight things that need to be corrected, because the end goal is to make sure that we go to market with an incredible product, and something that, a fraudster couldn't get their hands on and try to hack or something like that. So the goal is to make those updates that are requested as quickly as possible, turn around the smart contract, re-audit it, and make sure that it meets the requirements, and then go through the process of finalizing that, and obtaining a report through the whole process. So to move it quickly and efficiently is very vital in the market we have today, to get things in and out so that we don't linger around too long, because it takes a long time to develop things, and you want to get them to market as quick as you can.
Well, totally agree. Yeah, no, and I think that's awesome, because again, I know you personally, Brian. So I don't sit around like, oh, I wonder if if there's a code exploit that he's going to take all the money and run away with it. But I know a lot of people, they're used to seeing that in the space. Yeah. I know you guys have received, attacks from that direction, where people saying, hey, they're stealing the money and things like that. So very, very good to have like Crypto Sentry, who can kind of go, or DeFi Sentry, and who can go in and make sure that they, everything is how it should be, and help you guys through some of that. So it's really cool too. I know Robert is a DeFi expert. And Finnovant might not be a DeFi expert by nature, you know, so it's good. You can partner with people and you can kind of together, everyone achieves more. That's what team stands for.
That's exactly right. And within biometric financial, because the ecosystem is so designed around the community and designed around the providers, we have Robert's team in there. So when DISC needs a smart contract audited and Cyberly, and we go on to, you know, Tel Solutions does something, and Providence and Memora, and all of a sudden, you know, HGTP Phil, right? All of a sudden we have, you know, this great synergy between the providers. And that's what's really nice about the ecosystem.
Maybe we could start with, if you guys are okay, talking about partnerships and just the status on them. What are the newest ones? Which ones are you most excited about personally? And I'll kind of bring up just some of a list of some of them here. But you just want to talk through which partnerships are moving forward and which ones you're excited about.
Yeah, so we just talked about DeFi Sentry. We have a whole bunch of stuff going on in here. I think the big ones that we love to talk about, and we'll spend a lot more time on these going into 2023. I tell you what, that next AMA is going to blow people's minds. Both Providence and Tel Solutions are working quickly in the market to launch the biometrics. So there's a lot of work going on there and a lot of activity, and we're going to touch hundreds of millions of people. It's just amazing. This is going to be just an incredible rollout. So we'll spend a lot of time at the start of year talking about Providence and Tel Solutions. In the last couple of months, we've brought in Cyberly, we brought in Obius, we brought in DISC, Memora. These have all come in recently. You can see them on the list there. And these are all fantastic new projects. And they have, many of them have gone through or are a part of the Constellation network. So Constellation has been doing a great job helping people get lined up to launch their tokens. And as it turns out, you know, biometric financial provides a great pathway for them to expand their communities, to share their software, and to work together. So yeah, it's a great opportunity, and they'll all use products of each other. They will all be in the ecosystem interacting, and with global connections like in the continent of Africa and elsewhere in the world, they'll be able to take their solutions and roll them out in the same markets where we're operating today. So this opens up an incredible opportunity for everybody who's in the ecosystem.
Okay, I love that. You are a master thinker and you're also a master networker. That's what every time we talk, it's like, oh, I got this partnership. Oh, yeah, they're one of the biggest mobile providers in Africa. You know, it's like, oh, how did you get that? How'd you get that to happen? So love that. Could we talk for just a minute? Again, just based on the feedback I get from people, I know this is what's on people's mind. But, you know, it's hard. This is a very long-term project. Again, you're looking to, in 30 years, you want this to still be a business and to be going. Very different than what we see in a lot of crypto. No one thinks that, well, maybe I shouldn't name any projects by name, but no one thinks that a lot of the crypto projects that are around today will be there in 30 years, okay? So how do you kind of balance keeping people with a long-term mindset and not getting bored or disinterested in the short term? And how does your guys' financing work short term? Like, do you run out of money in bear markets like this? You just want to talk about short term, long term, and your guys' mindset around that?
Yeah, this is such a fundamental question, and when you think about a lot of the projects in the DeFi space that come and go quickly, that's what they're designed to do. They're designed like that from the beginning, and generally, it's like playing musical chairs, right? The last person to sit down doesn't sit; they miss the chair. And it's one of these funny kind of situations that you kind of pump and dump, and there's a lot of projects like that. So with biometric financial, it has been conceived over 5 years into 6 years now. So a lot of this activity started a long time ago. And because of the DeFi space actually needs these kind of projects. If you take a look at like what SBF did, what a ridiculous situation that is. And it really puts a bad name on the crypto market. In fact, it leads us into a place where we're going to get a lot of intervention from people that we don't want in here, right? It's unfortunate, but in the end, I think when you look at projects like BioFi, it helps to add credibility back into the space, because here you're talking about something that's conceived for the long term. You're talking about software that's been developed and a community which is growing along with the providers, and it's designed to run on its own. It's multi-generational, so it will be handed off to the next generation. And the beauty of this is that not one person or one company runs it. It's not a centralized thing. It's actually a multiple group of people that run this, and it's designed kind of like it's designed like a DAO almost, in that there will come a time soon where everything gets voted on in terms of what happens, and where something moves in the market next. It's very close to that, but it's designed for all of this to run on its own, and that's the beauty of it. And the emissions in the white paper and the tokenomics cover a 10-year span, and we're well on the way of achieving that. So we just have you and Robert and all the people that are out there amplifying that message, doing a great job getting the word out, and the community who's taking advantage of this and getting in there and enjoying the utility and being part of the community. It's just a fantastic thing. So there's a long ways to go. You have the right team, you have the passion, you have the enjoyment of doing this. And that's the fun part, is every day we wake up, I tell you what, James, it is so much incredible fun just to do this every day. We love to get up in the morning, get up early, do our coffee and our reading and all that, and just get on this. And we talk to so many wonderful people every day, and these community events are great fun. So it's really bringing it all together. And if you look at the long term, everybody who's in and follows along with this really enjoys it. And in the end, it takes us to a place we all want to go. This will go way beyond 10 years. And there'll be other projects. There'll be many like you talk about that come and go very quickly. And this will surpass all of that.
If I could just add to that for a minute, James, you asked, how do we make money like in a bear market, right? And what Brian's talking about is exactly right. And I'll just give a couple examples. While we deal with folks in the DeFi space, in the Web3 space, we also deal with these real live kind of TradeFi partners. And that's how we do it. That's the intent. Our team is built of a good balance of people who have TradeFi experience and people who have DeFi experience. So we're looking at projects in both spaces. So if DeFi is in a bear market like now, we're looking at people like Tell Solutions, we're looking at people like Providence, and we're looking at our new partner that we announced recently, HVAC. They are a fantastic company, one of the biggest online training companies in the world, if not the biggest in the HVAC space. And we're going to be taking their training materials and translating them into the metaverse. So, that blend of both worlds is how we keep the business rolling forward. If one's not doing well, the other one is. We look to see where the opportunities are, near term and long term.
Very cool. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that HVAC partnership and how it's going? And what exactly you're doing, just to give kind of people an idea if they didn't hear about that.
Sure. This is one of the ones that I'm really excited about. And Brian, I hope I'm not going too far with this one with Alpha, but we've announced it, we've talked about it, so we can talk about these guys. They are, as I said, if you look them up, they are one of the biggest, if not the biggest, online HVAC and refrigeration. It's HVAC is their name, is their full name. And they train, tens of thousands of HVAC techs a year. And they've been doing this for 20 to 30 years now. So they've got content, they know what they're doing, but they want to take that kind of two-dimensional static content and bring it into something that's more engaging and interactive and will help people learn in a more effective way. So we're working with them now. We've put a couple modules together for them, and we're meeting with them on a regular basis to make sure we can show, if you peel open an HVAC device, you peel open a machine, you know what each of those parts are. You can move them, you can take them apart. If something's leaking, you can diagnose it with a tool. Whatever the case may be, we're taking that, what's basically, you're going to be able to take a HVAC device and repair it in the metaverse before you actually go out and do it in the real world.
I love it. Very, very, very cool. And yeah, some of the stuff that you guys are doing there is just exciting. And yeah, I'm always excited to get updates and hear how things are going, what new partnerships there are. So it's crazy to be part of it as an influencer because I don't have to do any of the hard work. Like you guys just come and tell me about all these, like, oh yeah, we just partnered with a company and now we have hundreds of millions of people in Africa. And it's like, oh yeah, it's hard for me to do that too. Rob, can I get your take on kind of how do you consider long-term versus short-term investments, especially in a bear market like this? You know, like just how do you think through that about paying your bills? You need some short-term plays, but then also long-term plays where you're looking to make a lot of money. How do you think through that?
Well, right now it's difficult, right? In DeFi. I mean, once you saw the bull market stop earlier this year, most of the money left DeFi. I think it was like billions and billions. It was like $100 billion or something that left DeFi. And so DeFi has been really difficult to find proper things that a lot of people are going to get excited about, because a lot of people are very worried about the current space of the crypto market, especially going into 2023 when we might see a real recession and things like that. And banks are calling for it. So right now, I'm really focused on teaching my community utility and really what's going to withstand the bull market and the bear market and what's going to really happen next year with ISO and different things like that. Going back to what Brian was talking about with this training, I think it's really amazing. They're bringing Web 2 training into the Web 3 space, right? And so, I mean, have you ever like gone to work or a business and then you have to take these classes and you're on the computer and you're just clicking through because you're so bored? I mean, they're creating something that's so amazing and interactive where people are going to get excited to get into the training. And it's really revolutionizing how we are going to be able to train people in the future. And this is just one use case out of so many that they're building, and it's just really incredible. But as far as DeFi is concerned, I've been staying kind of far away from most DeFi projects. I've been DCAing into a lot of ISO projects. I've been DCAing into stuff like Casper and things like that. And I've been buying a little bit more BioFi on the side, realistically. But right now I have a lot of stables on the side because I do think we're going to experience some hardship here over the next couple months with the Fed and raising rates and doing different things like that. And so usually when the Fed starts to pivot, the stock market ends up dropping anywhere from 28 to 50%. So I can imagine the crypto market might see some of that too. And I'm watching what's happening with Genesis and Grayscale as well. So there's a lot of things that can bring the market down a bit. And I expect that we are going to see lower lows before we do see, some kind of bull market. And I do think it's going to last through 2023 and into 2024 personally. So we'll see what happens.
Predictions like that are why I'm not going to have you on my channel anymore. Nobody wants to hear that.
Hey, that's the truth, man. I spend all day making sure I understand this stuff so I can educate my community, but there are some tokens that are going to go against the market next year. You have the FedNow payment system launching in March. You have ISO and Swift moving to the ISO messaging standard. And I do think people should be paying attention to those projects, particularly your XRPs, your XCCs, your XLMs, your IOTAs, and your algos and things like that. And your DAGs and projects underneath DAGs. So those are the things you really should start paying attention to right now. I'm staying away from a lot of like the quote unquote, fast money projects because usually they don't last too long. So
every time Robert talks, I'm going to put up my financial advice ticker.
Not financial advice, guys. Not financial advice. Just
scrolling. It's scrolling on the screen that it's financial advice. I mean, it has to be true. No, none of this is financial advice. Nothing we say here today. So speaking of buying more BioFi tokens, you guys have just recently announced a upgrade to the dApp. Is that correct? Do you want to talk through some of the changes you made? There is staking available. Sometimes people forget that there is a way to make more BioFi tokens without buying them. It's just staking them. Do you want to talk through some of the changes?
Yeah, I'll hop in real quick and then turn it over to Chris here. So I do want to, and this is the smart contract we just talked about with DeFi Sentry and the work that the team has done. The Solidity coding, the website coding. In essence, this is probably one of the biggest. And James, you're well aware of this. This is one of the biggest requests that we've had from the community at large, one of the biggest. And what it allows you to do is open up, take some of your BioFi, pick one of the rewards. We have 4 right now. There's 4 different rewards that can be selected. Those will be changing in the first quarter next year. And we'll take, we'd love to talk to the community about this, but there'll be some different kinds of rewards going into next year. Those will be announced in the first quarter. Right now, we're having a continuation of the existing set of rewards. And in essence, what you're able to do is pick one of these rewards, start your process of putting some BioFi in here. And then over time, we have this top-up feature, which is adding and upgrading. So from here, you'll be able to have one account open. You'll be able to continue to, on that reward, add to it. And then when you get to a certain point, you can jump to the next one and continue through the chain. So you can, it's like, if you fly airlines, like United Rewards, you start down at silver and you go to gold and you kind of work your way up the more you fly the airplanes. So it's kind of like that. And you'll be able to go through each of these in a stepwise manner, start from the bottom and work your way up. What a great way to help the community. And you don't have to have multiple accounts. So I think you're looking at the screen here. Is that your screen there, Chris?
That's my screen.
Oh, that's your screen. Okay.
Yes.
That's James. I'm actually going to run through something very similar, James. I want to show folks how they can do the upgrade, if that's okay.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I'd rather you do it. And I've really been waiting for this feature because I actually have BioFi in like 4 different wallets, because after I would get a certain amount and then stake it, and then I couldn't do it again. So I had to move to a different wallet. So this is going to be a game changer for me. But yeah, go ahead, Chris, you can take it away.
Sure. And originally the BioFi the token wasn't set up that way. Excuse me, the contract. Hold on a second. I'm trying to read my new screen here. What's going on?
Oh yeah.
Screen. This is the one I want. Share.
And by the way, James, okay, this gets you into the whole world of dollar cost averaging, which is just an incredible way to interact with BioFi. That's probably the best way. Dollar cost averaging, and what a fantastic way to interact with the community.
Yeah, right. Totally agree. Chris, you take your time. I can fill any amount of space with words, so definitely.
I just want to make sure I'm doing it in a way that doesn't. It looks like we had repeating going to infinity there for a moment ago. So I want to make sure I'm not doing that.
Screen shareception is what I call that. It happens a lot, so don't worry about that.
Okay, let me move it to my other screen, and maybe that will do it.
We've got some good discussions in the comments about the future of crypto. So,
oh, really?
Yes.
All right. So this should do it now. All right. This should help.
There we go.
Okay.
You are good.
So that's it. So what I'll do is I'll walk through this in case someone hasn't seen our dApp site yet. It's app.biofitoken.io. So if you come in, there's opportunities for you to join as a user, as a provider, if you wanted to join the BioFi ecosystem, as an event owner, and to learn more. So let's start as a user, and you want to connect your wallet as soon as you come in. And give me just a moment. Always have to wait for the blockchain. We're on Avalanche, which is usually very quick. So let's just give it a moment for MetaMask to do its thing.
There it goes.
Count 1. That's the one. Connect. Okay, we are connected here. This should. Okay. So as you step your way through, what the dApp will do is recognize what your BioFi holdings are if you have them in your wallet. If you have not come in yet, you will need to register. If not, you can just log in. This was originally tied to perks. We're probably going to remove the email confirmation, but for the moment, it's still in there. Let me just put this. Let me go forward. Okay, you sign it to make sure that the wallet is yours. There is no transaction fee when you sign the message. It's just noted.
Can I ask one question just from things that people have been sending to me?
Sure.
Why do you guys people aren't used to putting in their email address to associate it with an account? You know, that's kind of a unique thing in crypto. Can we ask just why you went that direction?
The original design captured that so that we could capture the utility. That was the important piece. We didn't want it for any other reason. It's not for marketing. It's not so we can sell it, because we never sell people's information. It's so that we could capture that, okay, James Pelton did indeed come into the website 20 times over the past 3 months. That's how we tracked it through that email address. Okay. This way, when you look at this, because BioFi is a utility token, if you just bought it and forgot about it and came back in a year, that's not a utility. That's a security. This is a utility. We want you coming back. We're going to teach you things. We're going to give you opportunity to learn more, to earn more. And if you look here on the screen, what you'll see is something called a utility rewards rate and a full utility, a partial and a full utility rewards rate. What that means is, in full utility, and someone just asked that question, means you need to come back. If you have a gold stake, you need to come back to the website 6 times in that 90 days, and you will earn the full utility of 15%. Now, that's a 15% annual, so you scale that down to 3 months. But that's how you get the full utility. If you treat it like a security and you don't come back, you're only going to earn 12%. That's the way it works. We're encouraging you to come back. Now, as you will see, we are continuing to put utility into the BioFi ecosystem. We're going to talk more about that today with the Ethos Metaverse, and all that brings and is starting to bring to the community. So we're going to give learn and earn programs, all types of things like that to encourage you as a user, as a community member, to continue to come back. So that's a long explanation, James, but that's why we needed the email, because that's how we were capturing how many times you came back to the ecosystem. Okay, and we're finding other ways to do that. So going forward, that will probably go away.
Okay, very cool.
Okay. All right. So if this is your first time seeing it, you have your choice here, depending on how much BioFi you have and how long you want to stake it or to commit it. So let's go right now. I'm going to start with a simple one, gold. I'm going to set up the gold program, and it'll give you your full details. All right. Again, it tells you about utility usage and non-utility if you don't get the full. What the utility usage requirement is to come back 6 times, and it's for 90 days. All right, so this is how much is in my wallet. I want to do a stake, a minimum of 10,000 for argument's sake, 10,000 BioFi. Oh, I already have an active stake. Let me go to the dashboard.
Yeah,
what we have here. Okay, I do have one. So actually, this works for my demo. I could have just set one up, no problem. Okay, so I actually have a contract that is ready to close. Okay, I already set one up, it matured. I can close it, or this is what's new, James, what you were asking us for. I can add tokens to it, or I can upgrade it. So let's just say I'm going to add tokens right now. I'm going to add, okay, this is 50,000. So let's just say I add, I don't know, another 50,000 BioFi. Add tokens. Okay. Oh, my stake is finished, so it's not going to let me do that. So I'm just going to go to, let me close this out. It's a little bit longer of a demo than I intended, so just bear with me, folks.
Hey, live things are always, if it goes exactly how you intended, you faked something. That's not how live works.
That's right. So we're going to just close this out. Okay.
We're having quite the discussion in the comments, so I like it. I like it, Rob. You got to come on all my videos. Keep the.
I'll bet. Okay, so here we are again.
Here to share knowledge.
We now show what's in my balance. I have nothing locked up in the dashboard. So we're going to start again with the gold. It's got a minimum of 10,000, a maximum of 300. So I'll just do 20,000 BioFi for the moment. I'll start the process. And this will just take a minute, folks, so I'm sorry about that. But what I really want to show you is how you can then go to the add or the upgrade. That's the most important piece of what this is. as we go through this, you will see on the screen here, it walks you through the process. Again, it's blockchain oriented, so everything's on the blockchain, so it takes a moment or two. It doesn't go as fast as perhaps non-blockchain based transactions, but that's the beauty of what this is. Everything is out there, and it's auditable, and it's seeable, it's visible. So it's just writing now to the blockchain. Okay.
So the important thing here, James, is that you can start on any reward level that you like. You can start as low as just a few thousand BioFi, or if you have a lot to start off, you can pick a higher tier and work up from that level.
That's right.
Yeah, very cool. I'm working on consolidating them all right now in the background. I'm a multitasker.
Oh, that's excellent.
Right. And actually, that's a good point, James. So thanks for bringing it up. All of the contracts that were established up until today, you'll have to do that. You'll have to wait for them to mature before you can consolidate them into a new contract. This new functionality is for new contracts going forward that you can add and upgrade. So anything that you have today, folks, you just have to hold on to, let it come to maturity, and then you can roll it into another one. Okay, so here we are. We've got my gold stake. It shows the base return, what the max return is going to be 15, and I've got 20,000 BioFi staked. So obviously I'm not ready to close. I'm going to go now to add tokens. I'll do this as an example rather than as an upgrade, and I'll just add another 10,000 BioFi. Add tokens. And what this does, whenever you add to the stake, what it effectively does when you just add tokens, it closes the stake to that date with the original amount of tokens. It consolidates with the new tokens, and then it creates a new stake, if you will, until the original end of your contract. That's how it works. It's pretty simple.
Okay. Very cool.
Now,
yeah, this is a big deal.
Yeah, the difference is when you upgrade, right, to a new tier, the big difference is not only are you adding tokens, but you're extending your date out. So let's say I took this gold and then I wanted to upgrade into a 6-month program. It would then extend my date from today 6 months. That's the difference. I'd get the increased rate and I would get the increased time. Other than that, it's fairly simple. That's the add, done. So James, that's how simple it is to add new tokens.
Okay. Very cool. No, thank you so much for adding that. That makes my life a lot easier personally. So and guys, don't forget, I mean, this is not a small amount, especially if you're planning on holding these long term. You know, in crypto, we kind of, 15%, whatever. But if you're planning on holding this for, let's say, 5 years, think about 15% over 5 years. I mean, that is going to significantly increase the amount of BioFi tokens that you're holding over that time. So don't just see the 15%. It's not even worth me doing that. You know, go in there and get it staked is something I'll put the financial advice for that one. Stake your BioFi. Financial advice. So cool. Next thing, and again, interrupt me if you have other things you want to talk about. I'm just going based on what I want to talk about.
Okay.
But the metaverse stuff that you guys are doing seems to be kind of big. And honestly, I don't know a ton about the metaverse stuff. We never seem to get to it in our AMAs. We're always talking about other things, and then at the end kind of mention it. Do you guys want to talk about what you're doing with the metaverse, how people can get involved with that, and kind of your vision there?
Yeah, I would like another quick demo after I finish this conversation, because I think this would be quite fun to see this. So we think of the metaverse as an incredible extension of BioFi. So imagine, you know, the future. You guys have taken, you know, Survey Monkey, Jot form kind of questionnaires, right? You go in and you click a button. Maybe it's, you know, click this oval, type in a number 1 to 10. You know, you slide something around, you read some text, and that's kind of the old style, right? That's the way it's been for forever. The metaverse now offers an opportunity to put it from your perspective. So now it's really putting the reins in the hands of the user. the BioFi community member can now take control of the learning process, and they can lead themselves through the learning. And if they run into something that slows them down, maybe they don't understand it, maybe they have to get smarter about something, there can be a remediation step built right into the training. So it's amazing what you can do in the metaverse, and it's such an immersive experience. It's very graphical, and you can see things clearly. When information is presented, it's right when you need it, and it can keep track of things as you're going through. And the beauty of it is that you're also integrated into the blockchain. You're integrated into cryptocurrency. You're integrated into the future of visual recognition, all of it in front of you on your screen. And so this is quite an amazing thing. So we think of the metaverse as an incredible extension, and it really has three primary legs, James. One of them is the training and the certification. That is critical, because if people are smart, if they know what they're doing and they're learning, that benefits all of us. Furthermore, there's an ability within the metaverse to enjoy yourself, right? Play games. Imagine going in there and enjoying a game. You know, you want to lose your mind for 30 minutes and just enjoy a game and compete with someone else. You know, just maybe it's a solo play, and you can shoot zombies, you can climb a mountain, you can do something where it's gamified. That's another leg of this. And then finally, we have this whole social interaction in the world. So part of that is being able to see your NFTs that you're using in the metaverse, like in a museum, you know, all of your artwork displayed for your friends to come and see that. But that can also be your house, you know, a part of your house in one of these worlds. So you could have an art museum in your basement. It could be in a regular building. But at the same time, you could be flying a spaceship around, or a drone, right? Discs, drones, and charging the battery up on the drone, or filling your spaceship full of fuel. So there's actually ways for people in the community to generate revenue while they're in the metaverse. So you get a lot of this play to earn type of thing, and you have the ability for people to run businesses in there, actually interact and run businesses. And a lot of it is also microtransactions. But those are kind of the three major legs. And it all fits so nicely into the biometrics and into the technology that the other providers are developing. So together, that gives you this incredible immersive experience. One of the things that I want to show you here is there's a company out of Southeast Asia who is coming up with a way to actually compete with the NFTs. So, you know, we have the Doge NFTs. Cyberlead has the cyber athletes, the Cyberlead athletes, and the disc company has the drone NFTs. These are three examples. So in this simulation we're going to show you here, this is a website that has been developed and administered in Southeast Asia, where they actually compete the NFTs against one another. This is all random. This is using Chainlink's VRF. So Chainlink is a major part of this. It's all verifiably random. So nobody can, you know, have an advantage or take control of the game or do anything like that. It's completely random. And this is happening on a large scale around the world. So we see this happening in a few other places, but this is a really unique implementation of it. And imagine, James, using that NFT. You purchase an NFT, you interface with the metaverse, and now you can take that NFT and use it all over the place. You can use it in your learning. You can use it in your gaming. You can use it in these worlds. And in this case, this experience where you're competing. So let's take a look at that. Chris, if you can do a quick screen share.
I've got it on the screen already. Can you guys see it? Open racing?
Yes, we see it. We see the dogs
Awesome.
racing.
Right. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like on the browser base. Okay, if you wanted to enter a race, so you need to connect your wallet because your Moon Doge will be in your wallet. Okay, so here's an example, and we'll take a look. Let's say I want to here are races that have been run in the past. There's been 26 of them so far, and here are 3 that are set up to go. There are 2 of 9 participants in the first one, 3 of 9, and 3 of 9 here. So let me show you what it looks like to we'll jump into one of these. Let's take a quick look at this one. All right, in this race, in race number 27, we have 3 Doges already entered. Okay, and we're waiting for the rest. The way this works is once the 9th and final Moon Doge enters, the race goes off. Okay, so and it runs live. Well, it runs very quickly. It uses the Chainlink VRF, so there's the randomness brought into the race. But you can see here that each of the Doges have their own attributes. So if you look at this first one here, he's a speed of 67, endurance of 57, and luck of 37. So each Doge is different, and each Doge will place differently in each race. So just because this one here, for example, has 94 speed, 96 endurance on a scale of 100 and 32 luck, there's no guarantee that this Doge will beat this Doge because of the randomness that's introduced by Chainlink's VRF.
Yeah.
So it's really a cool option. It's a way to make sure that everyone has a chance and no one has an outsized advantage in the racing. So
Can
let
I
me
ask
go
something?
back.
Can I ask something? Is this available for people to mint Doges right now and race, or is this upcoming, or what can people do right now?
This is alpha for you guys now. This is good. We're ready to go on this, right, Brian? This is good to go today. So
The official announcement is tomorrow, but I guess you're hearing about it today, James. You're getting it right now.
There you go,
Yes,
Chris.
alpha
Dropping
ticker.
alpha.
So on this particular website, now you can always come to the biometric financial to mint the Doge, but you can also come here, and the link to mint the Doge is here on Open Racing. So you can come here, and it takes you to our mint. And by the way, this is in 2 languages. It's available in English and in Mandarin and Chinese. So if you wanted to mint yourself a Doge, you have the ability to mint an origin Doge or a classic Doge, depending on what you want. The difference between the 2 is a classic Doge only costs 1 AVAX, and an origin Doge costs 10 because it will come with extended perks over its lifetime. So there's what 96 of 400 sold here. When the origins are done, they are done. There will never be any more Doges, any more origin Doges, excuse me. When you hatch them, you keep the shell, which will be traded in for a spaceship to use in the Ethos Metaverse. The classic Doges do not come with the shell, and that's something they'll have to earn or perhaps purchase in the future. So yes, James, you can buy them there. Or if you already have them and they're in your wallet, you just come to enter a race. Now, I wanted to show what a past race looked like just so that you can see it. So if we go to race details, we can see, okay, here are the Doges that were in that particular race and their finishing positions, first, second, and third. And look, you would think maybe a Doberman would win, but the Corgis, they did really well in this one. So you can replay the race, and what you'll see is the actual race as it took place, and you'll see the actual finishing positions that were generated by Chainlink's VRF.
Okay, very cool. Does the winner get something?
Absolutely. So let me go back to that. There's a lot of customization elements here. So when you go into a race that someone else has set up, there is a fee to enter the race. So let me just pick this Doge and you'll see how it works. The fee is determined by the person who starts the race. So in this particular case, it's 0.05 AVAX. So it's insignificant. It's less than $1 to enter. But if you said, okay, I feel like trying a little more than that, when you create a race, you can choose what those entry fees are. Oh, and look at that. coming soon, Cyber Athlete and Disc Drones. So you can choose how much you want to pay, and these will be optional. This is up to OpenDAO, the company that's managing this. They may change these amounts higher and lower, but we've encouraged them to keep it accessible to people so people will come and have some fun with it. But really, it's up to them on what they change these entry fees into. But to answer your question, when you come into a race, when you win, the first place winner gets 50% of all the entry fees. So just say it costs $1 to get in the race, just for argument's sake. The winning dog would get $450, right? The second place Doge gets 25% of all the entry fees. The third gets 12.5. So all three, first, second, and third, win something. Basically, third place breaks even so they can race again.
Hey, Chris, can regular people bet like on a dog that's not theirs? Betting is the wrong word. Can they wager on a dog that they like that's not theirs, or is it just your dog, your wager?
It's your dog. At this point, it's your dog. That's a really interesting concept, Robert. Thanks for raising that. And that may be something that OpenDAO adds in the future. It's very possible. You can come look and say, okay, these are the Doges, these are the 9, and I'm going to pick, this blue one because I think he's going to be my lucky one. That's possible. It just does not exist today. So this is to Brian's point. You want to kill a little bit of time, have a little bit of fun. You go ahead and come in and choose a race and go for it. And as soon as there are 9 Doges in there, the race goes off automatically, and you can watch the results of any past race.
Are the attributes, are they just random when you mint your Doge?
That's a great question. Let me bring up one that details so we can talk about it in a little more detail. Okay, here's a race that went off in the past. And all of these speed, endurance, and luck are all generated through the Chainlink VRF when you mint the Doge. So there's no way for anyone to influence any of these attributes. They are randomized and they are within a range. Some Doges, like the Shibas, I think, are the most rare Doge, and their stats tend to be a little bit higher. So if you're lucky enough to get one of those, you may get one that is more likely to win. The key here is it's random and it's fair play for everyone when you generate that Doge. You don't know what you're getting and you don't know what their attributes will be. Right now, this track that you kind of see in the background running, that's supposed to be on Titan. As this expands, we expect that OpenDAO is going to create different environments where a Doge that, say, has greater endurance will win more likely on a longer track, or one that has speed will be more likely to win on a shorter track. Maybe there'll be different gravities and different other aspects that differentiate the track, where maybe you need more than one Doge to win on a regular basis. So there's a lot of variables that can be introduced to the racing itself to keep it interesting and keep it fun.
Okay, very cool. I want to show. Look, I've got 2 and 2 eggs. So look at this. These are going to be mine. I'm going to start getting into some races. Someone asked, Nick wanted to know, what's with the arcade mini games in the Ethos Metaverse?
You guys just want to hear from me today, huh? I'm going to keep talking all day long. No problem. That is actually something that is a lot of fun. And let me stop sharing this so that we can get into that next one. That one's a lot of fun too. So sorry, I'm on a couple different screens here.
The beauty of the Metaverse, James, is that you get a lot of things to do, right? It's an amazing way to interact with anybody around the world on any time zone, because who knows when you might have an interest to want to play a game or to learn something. We talk about the HVAC-R education. That type of education is required by a lot of these are the people that come over to your house and fix your air conditioner. and your heater. And they need to know how to take a pressure reading on your equipment. They need to know how to access the service port of your HVAC equipment. They have to be able to check your filters and all of your hoses and everything. And where are they going to learn how to do that? Imagine how they're getting trained today on the old style. And on the new style, I think you're going to see a much improved educational process. They're going to learn better and more, be able to service your house with more efficiency and get into the field quicker. And this is just one example. And these games and the interaction are a great way for the community to get into the metaverse, to be a part of the metaverse. And these are just some of the things that are happening right now. This gaming area that Chris is going to show you next is exploding in the number of games that will be added in here. And there will be many providers I would recommend to come in and add their games into this.
Also, one question on Doge while are the buyable skins coming up? Is that a thing in the future for the Doges?
That's an option. We've talked about that. That's not quite on the timeline right now, the different skins for the Doges, but that's something we can do if people want that. I'm sure that could be available as an upgrade. It could be something that you earn in the Ethos as you're out there spending time and exploring. So that's a great idea, Nick. At the moment, there's not, but that's something that could very well come in the future.
Okay. And by the way, audience, go ahead and ask your questions. I'll star them, and then we'll do kind of a quick Q&A here to kind of wrap up after this, after the mini games. We'll see what else there's to talk about. I want to show you how to buy BioFi tokens, and then we'll try to get to as many questions as we can. So go ahead, Chris.
Okay, I'll start with the arcade world, which is something we just put together because anyone can get into it right now once you download the Ethos Metaverse. So what we've done is created a space where you can come and spend some time, have a little bit of fun. It's going to evolve and change over time. Excuse me, I'm getting used to my new mouse. But what you'll see here as I move around, hold on, this is one that I'm actually looking forward to. David and the team, sorry for the jumpiness here, are working on a zombie game that is just fantastic. It's going to be a ton of fun. We've seen a bunch of demos of that, and it's coming together really nicely. At a place to go and kill some time. We actually have a game here that Thomas on our team has integrated into the metaverse. This is a game that he's had out actually on the web for a few years called Glow Home, and we can get right into that. Again, I'm sorry, it's my new mouse here. Let's see if I can do this again. Basically a space arcade type of game. I'm going to pass for the moment and just move around. And we'll have other things in here like air hockey tables, different games. We have a crane somewhere, the kind that you use to pick toys out, like from Toy Story. All kind of things that you can get to, and you can spend some time, have a little fun. Ultimately, we will make it more multiplayer, so you can come in and hang with your friends, meet people, have some fun. Use the claw game, get a toy, whatever that case may be. So I'm sorry, Zoom makes this a little bit choppy. But that's what the arcade space is. It's here for you to come, have a little fun. And right now, you don't have to have BioFi or even a Doge to get in and play around with it. So we would appreciate folks, download it, check it out, give us suggestions, let us know what you like or what you'd like to see, because the team is very excited about bringing more fun, more engagement, more utility into the arcade space.
Very cool. This is very cool. Are you working at all with the Dodie team from Constellation? I just know they're kind of building similar type stuff, and I feel like there's some partnership there for sure, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. I did reach out to those guys, so just looking to hear back from them, and we'll initiate those conversations.
Awesome. Okay, let me know if you want me to be a part of that as well. So
no problem.
Well, let's do some audience questions here, and then let me show you how to buy BioFi token if you're interested, and then we'll do some questions. Then we'll hop off. I don't like to go too much longer than an hour here.
Hey, James, Jake Otis had a question. He said, when minting a Doge, are the attributes of the Doges the same if we mint the Origin or the Classic? 10 AVAX Doge versus 1 AVAX Doge. He says, I understand the additional features available on Origin.
That's a good question. There is no racing advantage for either Doge, whether it's Classic or Origin. We wanted them to remain fair. So the Origins will come with extra perks, but the attributes are still are random for either one. So there's no advantage of one type over the other.
Good question. So this is the biometricfinancial.org is going to be where you go to do all this stuff. If you want to buy, here are the different places that there's liquidity on. So if you just Trader Joe, you should be familiar with if you know anything about AVAX. But you can just swap for BioFi the way that you would any other coin on AVAX. I use MEXC for purchasing because I have some partnership with MEXC, and so it worked out really well. But you can buy on here. It's a centralized exchange, and you can trade USDT for BioFi. This is where I buy all my BioFi tokens, is on MEXC. And then the dApp is where you're going to go to stake your tokens, which now if you're dollar cost averaging or anything like that, you can add to your stakes. And again, you can watch earlier in the video. I'll get chapters put into this video when we're done too. So you can go back to watch that tutorial that Chris showed us. And then there's a link right there for the Ethos NFT. So if you're wanting to get in on either the eggs or the Doges, then this is where you can do that. You can adopt. That's cute. That's cute theming. I like that. But you can go there. So this is going to be your hub for everything. If you want to learn more about BioFi, you can learn about their partnerships. You can learn about the SayTech technology, their cryptic wallet, the Unisafe box, all on their website there. Good. Okay. So a few audience questions. And if you guys have anything else you want to talk about too, feel free to interrupt and do that. This is a question I actually get a lot. But what is Finnovant and what is BioFi? Sometimes people get confused on the correlation there or the connection there.
Yeah, it's a great question. So Finnovant is the company, the original foundation of the Origin, working on the biometrics and the wallet and the password manager. It goes back 6 years now. And the biometric financial, the BioFi token, is the project. And you know what's really cool about today? You know what today is in the history of BioFi?
I do not.
This being, right, December 20th. What day did we launch BioFi?
Is it the anniversary?
Today's the end. This is the 8-month anniversary of BioFi.
8 months on. Congratulations.
You guys are experiencing history because 420, and Robert, you made that cool video with the 420 in it. That cracks me up. Yep. 420 to 1220. It's 8 months, guys, that the BioFi token has been out there on the market, and it's just fantastic. So you're seeing what can happen in an 8-month span. Imagine 10 years, guys. Imagine 10 years of this.
Yeah, it could be very exciting. Question about something Chris B said. If you add tokens to an existing stake, does it change the maturity date?
Good question. To an existing stake where you don't upgrade to a higher level of interest rate, no, it does not change the maturity date. If you want to change from a 15% reward rate to a 30% reward rate, when you make that upgrade with sufficient tokens, then it does move out your maturity date. But if I have a 3-month contract and I add 10,000 BioFi to it, it does not change my maturity date.
Okay. And then let's see. Oh, is there are your tokens locked for that time? Is it possible to get your tokens out?
Once they're into the maturity.
Okay. And that only makes sense. Staking wouldn't really make sense if you could unstake because it just wouldn't make sense. It'd be like, well, you're not really doing anything. So,
right. And what we don't want to do is create an opportunity for someone to put something in there, then take it and get penalized. right? It can't be utility token if you're just in and out all the time and you're trying to, you're trying to use arbitrage or whatever the case may be. So no, we didn't want to create that negative experience. So once you're in till maturity.
Gotcha. Can you please ask if Cryptic Wallet or UniSafebox have been audited by any known security firm?
Yeah, so this is a great question. The biometrics, of course, have gone through. We have our own security team, and we've done some external auditing. So yes, it has. There's a lot of just hardcore background code built into that, both from a biometrics perspective and from a blockchain perspective. You guys know that the Cryptic Wallet is completely decentralized. Once you access it, you're using your keywords to access your wallet. This is not a centralized service. There's nothing at all on the Cryptic Wallet that ever ends up in a centralized environment. It's completely up to the individual. Their wallet is their wallet. And as long as you keep track of those keywords, you're going to be completely off the grid. We do have a website for Cryptic that you can download the APK file for Android devices, and that will allow you to bypass Google and Apple. You can just download the APK file. We have a huge number of downloads in Southeast Asia in particular on that site to access the wallet on Android devices. UniSafebox is on a blockchain. It's a blockchain-based product that has the biometrics built in. It also has another form of password management, which is a little diagram that a pattern that you use with your finger. So we built that into that. So these are very secure products, and I would recommend both of them. Right now, you can get UniSafebox for a 30-day trial. I would recommend to download it and try it out. It also has the inheritance feature. So God forbid, if anything ever happened to you, one of your kids could receive your inheritance, or maybe a family member, your wife, an attorney, somebody that you can take care of your estate if something happened to you.
Okay, very good. No, I love that. The inheritance feature is really cool too, but it gets less incentive for them to keep me around if they're able to get
right,
get access to everything on their own. Very cool. This is the last question we have, unless anybody asks any last minute ones. But what made the team decide to build on AVAX? Any benefits over other networks?
Yeah, we get this question a lot, and it's a great question. So you guys know we've been through the Constellation flight program, number 1 and number 2, and the plan is to be on the Constellation network. We went to Avalanche so we could get to market, much like all the other tokens around us, whether it be Alchemy or GeoJam. Everybody went to a network where they can get launched. It turns out Avalanche is an incredible network because the fees are wonderful. It's got great speed. You just saw some activity today with the demos. And because the fees are less, you can actually process a lot of transactions there without a large bill, when you're buying and selling. And because we do a lot with the website app.biofi token and the NFTs, we want those costs to be low for everybody interacting with the biometric financial ecosystem.
Okay, very good. And then for the UniSafebox trial, what happens after the 30-day trial?
Yeah, so right now we're putting in the capability to purchase that with BioFi. So this would be BioFi only, and you would be prompted inside the app itself. It would come up with a prompting, and then you can choose you want to do 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. There'll be a couple different packages to choose from.
Okay, very good. And then unless you have something else that you would like to talk about, but considering the BioFi 8-month anniversary, it's kind of like when you're dating, you start, it's our 8 month. But what's been everyone's favorite moment over the last few months? And maybe I'll start. But I remember the very first time that we talked, Robert had directed you guys, had put us together. And I do so many AMAs where sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, they're revolutionizing something. Great to hear. But then when I was talking with you, it was on Zoom, that first one I remember, I started to just be thinking about all the different things that this could change and just the ways that this could affect the world. And then I started to see it with the partnerships in Africa in particular. And I just remember just that excitement a long-term excitement that I haven't gotten over very much else in the space. But that's my favorite moment, if you will. But what about you guys?
I'll jump in here, guys. I would say, other than the night that we launched, which is a whole story unto itself. What an amazing night that was. There are actually a lot of them where we've interacted with the community, and people like Miguel and Crazy Susie and Viv and Dagon's Lair, Dagonaut, Nick, HGTP Phil, all the guys that are in the communities and interact with providing information and helping. And we've really learned the things that we talked about today, that we brought out today. Many of those are from the community. These are directly from the community. And it's just fantastic because of the innovations and everything we're doing. We get so many great interactions, and these guys are doing a fantastic job. So it's all that community interaction that really helps make this so wonderful.
All right, very cool. What about you, Chris?
Well, to Brian's point, I think the launch night was itself very interesting. It was very tense and exciting at the same time, so that was good. But I don't know if there's any one thing that stands out. But what I will say is what I have really enjoyed along the way was working with our team. I mean, working with the community is fantastic. There's no doubt about that. But working with the team has been really interesting because you come up against it and the guys come through every time. You try to figure something out that you haven't seen before, and the people just deliver. So the team has really made this 8-month journey exciting and made it really worthwhile. And we don't give them enough credit. We try to, but there are deadlines just like any business. There's things we have to get done. If you don't set a deadline, then nothing ever gets done, right? That's just business. But these guys continue to come through. So I can't thank them enough, and they've made this journey really worthwhile.
That's awesome. What about you, Robert?
I mean, over the past 8 months, I guess now, since it's been an anniversary, Brian and I have had a lot of really in-depth, great conversations about BioFi and the future and the crypto market. And so I've learned a lot from him, and I think he's a very highly intelligent CEO. And I just have a lot of fun talking to him. I think the last time we talked was like an hour and a half or something. And I never spend that much time on the phone with somebody. So it is really a privilege to talk with him and the team, and just keep helping them, build out and help wherever I can. So, that's the biggest thing I've taken away from all this.
Awesome. Any last thoughts from you guys before we kind of wrap up here?
I just want to say, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. This is a fantastic time to put a video out like this, James. So this is really a good time of year to do this.
Awesome. Well, first off, I appreciate you guys in the audience. Where can you buy BioFi? I better answer that one. I kind of showed before, but it's just, if you go to biometricfinancial.org, find BioFi, MEXC, Trader Joe, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, La Token. MEXC is where I buy from, or Trader Joe would be your options there. But yeah, I appreciate you guys in the audience. You guys make these possible. People would not come ask me to do AMAs if there weren't people watching. So I'm not that special. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. Please hit like on your way out, whether you're watching this live or as a replay. Appreciate you guys. And Brian, Chris, and Robert, thank you guys so much for coming on. Robert, for sharing your expertise, and Brian and Chris for building and giving us something to be excited about, something to look. I've lost faith in a lot of crypto over the months. And so it's nice to just be, have that rekindled in me from time to time. So keep up the good work.
Thanks, James.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Awesome, guys. Everybody have a great rest of your day. And yeah, Merry Christmas. Although I'll be back on for videos tomorrow and the day after and the day after. So I'll see you a lot. But yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.